I wanted to talk about Jupiter and Uranus today because I've really been reflecting on my solo trip to Cuba and how influential that trip was for me, how transformative that trip was for me. I got so many golden nuggets from that trip. And the reason why I've been thinking about it is because I'm actually planning a trip to take my son to the Philippines for a huge family reunion. And this is huge for him because he has his chart ruler, Mars, is in the ninth house of Sagittarius. And so that's a double emphasis because the ninth house is naturally linked to Sagittarius. But this is going to be huge for him. And I'm really excited to see how it expands his world because the ninth house is all about travel, expansion, growth. So this is going to be a lot of fun. But it got me reflecting on Cuba and a placement that I have in my chart. I have Jupiter, which is the planet of expansion, travel, exploration, freedom, and Uranus, which is the planet also of freedom, but of individuality, of innovation, of disruptive change, of rebellion. So I have this conjunction, and this was so prominent when I went to Cuba. Because when you think about Uranus, Uranus doesn't want to be bounded by restriction. It wants to break free. And before I went on this trip, I was coming to a point where I was like, I needed to do something. I needed to, get out of the norm and go against the grain and kind of figure myself out. And so that's really what Uranus is all about. And with Jupiter being the planet of exploration and discovery and travel, it was a way for me to go out on my own, travel, have freedom to really explore another country. Before I went on this trip, I was so influenced by people. Usually I didn't really think for myself because I was going with a crowd and I was being easygoing and whatever someone wanted to do. Okay, yeah, let's do that. You want to eat something? Yeah, we'll eat whatever you want. Even though I'm craving Thai food, we can go get Mexican. I always went with the consensus. I never tried to stand out from the crowd. So this was my time to really go on my own and not have to worry about people saying, oh, we should do this, we should do that. And then I kind of go with it. I go with their ideas rather than going with my own ideas and what I want to do. I wasn't having to sacrifice for anybody. This was truly like, I'm going to do what I want to do. So I go on this trip and, you think you're going to Cuba and you're going to do the tourist thing and you're just going to go sightseeing and see things and all that. But it was really important for me to get immersed in the culture. It was really important for me to meet people, but I didn't know how. I didn't know how I was going to go about that. I brought my camera. I wanted to take pictures of people. I was taking pictures of landscapes, but there was a part of me that really had this need to connect with people and take pictures of them. I had met a professional photographer. She was actually the one that inspired me to go ahead and do this because she was taking, these really amazing photographs of people, beautiful, like candid, raw photographs, portraits of people. I remember thinking that, I could never do that. I'm, really shy. I don't know how to approach somebody. But talking to her and getting that inspiration from her, it kind of helped me build up the courage to do that. A lot of the beginning of my trip, I would just be exploring different neighborhoods in Cuba. And, if I saw someone that was, kind of open and friendly, I would start talking to them. And, with my broken Spanish, I would talk to them and ask if I could take their picture. And, people would be inviting me into their homes and I would take pictures of them, but I would get to know them. It wasn't like, oh, I'm going to take a picture of you, boom, bam, that's done. No, it was a really great way for me to connect with people. And as I was doing it more, I was getting more comfortable with connecting with people, meeting different people. That was something that sounds so simple, but it was huge for me because again, I've lived my life kind of being influenced by others, and my comfort zone was being with people that I knew. And, I wasn't as adventurous as going out and meeting new people. And this was my chance to really meet new people and learn about them. And not only that, but learn about myself and hidden aspects about myself that I didn't realize I had. I didn't realize that I really wanted to connect with people on a personal level. Even if, you know, we can't fully communicate with each other, it was really important for me to make these connections rather than just going on the solo trip by myself and, you know, just looking and kind of looking at things from the outside looking in. No, I wanted to be on the inside, you know, I wanted to feel where I was at. And it was just, it was such a great way for me to explore sides of myself. I remember, you know, going out and going dancing and, you know, meeting locals and meeting travelers and getting lost in the music. And Cuba is such a music, dance-centered culture. Being in that environment, it was really inspiring, and it helped me let go of these inhibitions of kind of, you know, I mean, I've always liked to dance, but I had something about Cuba, you know, and the passion and just the creativity that people carry. I was able to let go of my inhibitions, you know, just like going out and dancing more than I had ever done in my entire life. It was the most freeing feeling. It was so freeing. And that is what Uranus is all about, is like being unleashed, being set free from feeling like, oh, I gotta be a certain way, you know, I gotta be like this, and, you know, people are looking at me and you gotta worry about what everyone else is thinking. No, Uranus is all about not caring about what anybody thinks and just going with it, setting yourself free. It was just one of the best feelings of my life, letting go, unleashing that part, that side of me that always felt trapped and felt like I had to be a certain way and I had to hide certain things. And that was really amazing. The trip also made me realize how good I was with people and connecting with people. And, you know, I didn't have my trip planned. I was kind of going with the flow. And, you know, when I wanted to leave a city, I would leave a certain city. I didn't have a set plan. So at times I would take buses, at times, you know, I'd find someone that would hook me up and get me in a car that was going back to Havana. But, you know, just talking to people and say, hey, you know, I need to get to Havana and how much would it cost? And, you know, just working with them, this is how much it costs. And I'm like, oh, well, if I give you this amount of money, can I sit in the front seat? And so, you know, I'd work with them and they'd be cool about it. And, you know, I'd give them a little extra cash and I'd get the front seat and I'm rolling down the window, listen to my music on my headphones, and I'm feeling free. So free. It was just, oh my God. I got so many great memories. When I came back home, and I know I had mentioned this in another video, but just, you know, a part of me felt so empty because of, you know, this huge change that had come into my life from going on this trip, and how it expanded my mind, Jupiter, and how I just discovered so many sides of myself just by exploring another place and exploring myself. It was the beginning of my evolution. It was the beginning of really seeing what the world had to offer and really seeing my potential in things. And Jupiter brings growth and expansion, and Uranus brings change, rebellion, and wanting to look at things with a different lens. I was getting the inspiration because I feel like individuality is so important. Being ourselves, being authentic to who we are, is what I stand for, 100%. Well, I don't think anyone should feel like they have to be a certain way because of what other people think. You should be able to feel like yourself. You should be able to express your individuality and feel safe. Because if you don't feel safe, you're not going to express yourself, and you are locking that Uranus or Aquarius in your birth chart. You're locking it because you are conforming and not breaking free to be who you are, which is why I love the planet Uranus so much, because, you know, it is that change, that disruptive change that needs to happen in order to really find yourself and show who you are to people, regardless of what people think. It's very powerful. So, yeah, that's a little bit of my story. As always, bringing color to the stars and the placements in our birth chart. Yeah, let me know if you have any strong placements with Jupiter, Uranus, Sagittarius, Aquarius, you know, or if you relate to anything or you have a story, anything at all that you want to share, let me know in the comments. Peace and self-love.